Hi guys, welcome to the quick one round video. This is a really simple video just to show you the turn sequence of a single round and also to show you how you obviously move your characters and activate your characters, how the game then moves around you, sometimes assisting you, sometimes working against you. Okay, so I've got through 3 rounds so far, so I'm just about to move into round 4. My ship is over here, I've made it to this part, I've done a little bit of searching. I've got Ariana and the Black Maria, okay, as the ship, and you can see here I've got Ariana. She's got some ammunition, a combat knife, and a really cool energy pistol. Because of that, she's not got a lot of ammunition. She's been taking some shots, and then we've got she's on full health, and she's still got a couple of skill points left. I've then got Gak, okay, who's over here. He's still got quite a bit of ammunition. He's also got armour, which is really cool, so that's really toughened him up. He's probably got a lot of ammunition because he's not got the greatest weapon, and he's got both his skill points left, so that's going to be useful. And finally I've got Roy Kirk, the grizzled old veteran. He's got a reasonably good pistol, military pistol. He's got some dual-wield close combat weapons, and he's actually got a health pack as well. His health is pretty low though, so he will, he needs to look after himself basically. Okay, so like I said, I've done 3 rounds, and I'm just about to move into the 4th round. So let me talk you through the turn sequence. Okay, so we're on round 4. The first thing I need to do is upgrade the hostility by 1 level, so I'll pop a little peg in there. We're still currently in watch your back, okay, so we're kind of okay, but it's starting to get a bit hairy in here. The next thing I need to do is pull my event card, so I'm going to do that, and I have got gang activity. Okay, so I've got some gang activity there. Now I need to roll my chance dice. Okay, so I've got 2 gang members, so I'll grab these guys here, who are coming in at a spawn point 3, which is just down here. Now they're going to activate when the game plays against me in their phase. Okay, so hostility done, event card done. Now what I need to do is actually activate my characters. So I've got all my characters here. Okay, the first thing I'm going to do, I think, is I'm going to activate Roy Kirk. He's standing in this room. There's no other enemies in this room, so he can make a general search of that particular room. Okay, so that's his first action. So I'm going to grab my little counters, put one of these in, and I have got, okay, I've got a short range. I've got a short range hack device here. Okay, now Roy Kirk is still pretty kind of, he's got a fair pistol, he's got his dual wield weapons and a health pack. I don't really think I need that, so I'm going to mark that room as searched, and I'm going to place this hack on the floor. He found it, he doesn't want it, but I can always scoot that up at a later date should I need it. Okay, so that's really good. I've got that. Now I've got 1 action left with Roy Kirk, and I think for Roy Kirk what I'd like to do is I'd like to start manoeuvring over here, okay, to get some more cargo from that area. Okay, so I'm going to take his manoeuvre distance, okay, and I can get him and tuck him just in there. So that's his 2 actions spent. However, he has got a skill, and he's got a skill point left, which is the skill of Disrupt. And I've got this harvester over here. So he's going to spend his skill point, and that gives him the ability to disrupt any single purge, not a live one, okay, and so they cannot activate or move in their activation phase. So that's hopefully going to hold this guy off for me from a little bit, and that is Roy Kirk spent out. Okay, so that's all his actions complete. Now I think next I'm probably going to activate Gak, and I'm going to have Gak manoeuvre easily within distance over to this cargo crate for his first action, and his second action I'm going to use to open and search this cargo. So let's have a look what I've got. Okay, so I have got, let's see what this is. I've got, oh okay, that's interesting. I have got, okay, currently Gak's got a pretty mediocre weapon. I found myself some data credits, which is useful. Again, a mediocre combat knife, but I've also found a health pack, which is useful, and this really cool machine rifle. This has got great combat dice at short range and a fair combat dice at medium range, far more powerful than my current weapon. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put the data credits for now, okay, and the combat knife back into the cargo crate. I'm going to grab Gak's dashboard. I'm going to remove out his very kind of pretty crappy really rifle that he's got, and I'm going to replace that with the machine rifle, and I'm also going to pop that little health pack in there as well. Okay, that's really going to help him. He is really upgraded now. So let's pop the lid back on that little cargo crate. Okay, so that was his 2 actions spent out. I'm looking at his skill set here. He has got some cool skills. He's got a stubborn skill which enables him to actually make a free maneuver, to just keep moving at all costs. So again, I'm going to have to spend that skill point, leaving him with 1 skill point left. Now, because I've already manoeuvred, the free move action can only be extended to a run. Okay, and if I had already run, it would only extend to a sprint, which is a small amount. So I've got a shorter distance here, but I'm going to come up here. I'm going to move to here. I'm going to kind of block. He's got a lot of armor, so I'm going to block Roykirk from any fire that's coming over here. And that's Gak completely spent out. All I've got left now, as far as my character is concerned, is Ariana. Now she's sitting there, she's looking pretty mean, and she's got a pretty good energy pistol as well, which is actually effective at quite a few ranges, at short and medium range. Now I could target this Devastator here, but he has got partial cover, so to really take him out and use my maximum amount of dice, I'm going to need to maneuver up to that. So skill wise, okay, let's have a look first of all. I'm going to maneuver her first and get her within her own cover. Okay, so that gives her partial cover, but also now she's shooting over that, she's got a direct line of sight of that Devastator. So first action. The second action is to roll the combat dice. Okay, so I've got 2 dice here. I've got my blue and my red for the energy pistol, and I'm going to fire at this Devastator. In order to do that, I need to spend an ammunition point. Okay, she's only got 2 ammo left, and because it's the first shot of the round, it also goes into the hostility tracker, which just ramps up that hostility in the environment currently. Okay, anyway, let's roll for this Devastator. And it is not enough. I've only got 1 hit there, so I'm a bit worried about the Devastator because he does have 3 combat dice and he is pretty close. So I'm going to use my final ammunition point. Okay, so she's got an empty gun now. Pop that in there. And I'm going to spend a skill point so that I can use one of my skills. I've got the marksman skill, and that gives me at level 1 it gives me the ability to take an additional shot as a free action. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to pray a little bit. Oh, score! Okay, in fact, and a massive score of 3 hits on the Devastator, easily beating beating his armour. Okay, so I'm going to remove the Devastator from play. Very happy about that. I've only got this Harvester here who has been deactivated, and I've got a couple here who can't quite reach me. Okay, so that's my characters activated out. The next phase is where the game moves against you. Okay, so the very first thing we need to do is we need to roll our purge dice and our chance dice to see if we're getting any more purge arriving on the battlefield. And at this current level of Watch Your Back, we have got a possibility of both Harvesters and Devastators entering the board. So I'm going to roll for Harvester first, okay, and I get 1 Harvester at 0.5, okay, so let's grab that and put that over here. Okay, there's 0.5 is just off the board here, so I'm going to pop him here. And now I'm going to roll for the Devastator, okay, and I get 1 Devastator at 0.4, which actually is over here. Okay, so I'm going to pop him here, pop him just there off the board. Okay, so now it's time for the purge to activate. We're going to activate everybody that's on the battlefield, plus these guys that are going to come in that have just arrived as well. So this guy clearly can't activate thanks to the disrupt skill. These guys can though, and they can clearly see Ariana here, and so they're going to take their 1 action. Harvesters and Devastators, 1 action only, and they are literally just going to start getting as near as possible to her. So through the door, turn a little bit, and he's going to be kind of right on here as well, blocking this access over here for me already. Okay, so That's those guys. Can't move this guy. Can't see any other purge on the board except for the ones that have just come in. So let's bring in a harvester here, and this harvester is going to maneuver to about here, and we've got a devastator here. Now the devastator's only got one action as well, and ordinarily he would fire, he would do the most aggressive thing because that's the most amount of combat dice. He's not on the board yet, he's wandering on. So as he comes in, that's his first action. He will actually move into base contact with a civilian, okay, because he can't fire, that will be the most aggressive action he can do. He's still got 2 combat dice in attack, so that's going to be really cool. Okay, so they've moved. He can't attack yet, but also that civilian, if she decides when she moves out of combat there, she's going to get an attack of opportunity. Okay, so that could take her down as well. Okay, so we have also got the gangs that arrived thanks to the event card, and these guys have 2 actions. So bringing on the thug first of all, the low life, he will wander into here as his first maneuver action, and now he will also do the most aggressive thing, and he will attack anybody. Purge, traders, civilians, anyone. Now the first person he sees is a civilian. Okay, he's only got 1 combat dice, so he's going to roll his dice, and nothing happens. Okay, so he misses, so that's his 2 actions done. Then we've got Chunk. He's going to come in, and he's most powerful in close combat, and he's got a really good shield. He gets to here. Now he could, if he changes that into a run, he can't quite get to this civilian, so he will take the most aggressive action he can do instantly, which is also to attack as well. Now Chunk has got 2 combat dice in attack, even at range, so he's going to do that, and he's going to fire now, and he's going to shoot that civilian, and that civilian takes 1 hit. This civilian here, this is Ganeek, the alien, he's got no armour at all, and so he goes down. So I'm going to manoeuvre this guy off of the board. We've got a civilian down. Okay, so straight away we've lost a civilian. That's the gang activated. The only person that would activate now is the Galactic Core. Now I've got a couple of the Galactic Core actually on the board here that came in through an event card earlier on. 2 troopers running down, and again, now with the troopers, they will attack the biggest threat. Now the biggest threat are the Purge. Okay, so there are some Purge here, but they can't actually see them. He can't see the gang, but this guy can see the gang, so he's going to take an aggressive action and shoot the gang member, which is really cool because I really don't want these guys coming through and attacking me. Now they've got 2 actions. His first action is to roll the dice as an attack, and that was not successful. His second action is to take a second shot, and yes, the gang member goes down. That's really good. I'm happy about that. This is a really nice dynamic. This is really helping me out. Okay, this guy cannot see line of sight of the gang member, so he would maneuver to the nearest threat, and the nearest threat at the moment actually are the traders. And if there's no gang or there's no Purge on the board, or they can't see it, they will attack the traders. They will not attack civilians. Okay, so he's going to start maneuvering to the nearest threat. The moment he gets to here, he gets line of sight of this harvester here, and technically I guess this guy just in partial cover. There's also, he gets line of sight of this gang member here. Okay, he's only moved, he's got about another inch of movement to take yet. At this point he'll make a decision. The best decision he can make is to take the biggest threat, okay, the threat to the galaxy, as he is trained. So he's going to move forward just a little bit more, and he's going to take his second action to shoot at this harvester right here. Okay, so he's going to take that, and yes, very good shot indeed. Okay, just enough to beat the armor. That harvester goes down. I'm really loving the fact that I'm getting a lot of help from these from the core at the moment. Okay, so that's the Galactic Core actions. Lastly, we have the civilians. Now we lost a civilian, but we've still got our young lady punk girl here who is in combat with this Devastator, and we've also got our guy over here, Callum Butler, who's just having a wander down the street by the look of it. So I'm going to roll for this exciting thing going on over here, and in order to, I don't need that, I got the chance dice, so I'm going to roll the chance dice to see what she's going to do. Okay, and she gets a move action. Now what that means is she's going to move in the direction of the arrow, the way it's pointing on the dice as it rolled. and it's pointing this way, which is kind of cool because it's straight through the door. Kind of logical as well because she's got she's being attacked by a Devastator. Okay, so I'm going to move her up to here, and actually from her base she can just get through that door. However, she will provoke an attack of opportunity from this Devastator here. And looking at his stats in close combat, he's got 2 dice, which is a pretty fair attack. And he's going to roll for that, and he scores 1 hit. Now, ordinarily that would take a civilian down. However, our civilian here has actually got 1 point of armor on, and although she's not actually wearing heavy armor, the armour is to represent that she's very fast, she's very agile, she's basically ducked out of the attack and made a run for it, which is really true to her character. Okay, so the next one is to roll for Callan over here, and I'm going to roll the dice, and again, true to character, he is actually going to hide. Now, he will hide behind the nearest cover. Okay, so the nearest cover probably from everybody, because we've got line of sight down here, would actually be to hide behind this 4 cover here. If he can't reach the cover, he will just maneuver to the as far as he could get to that cover. So as it happens, his maneuver will actually take him right behind 4 cover, and he's cowardly hiding over here. Okay, so that is the civilian's move done now. The last thing then we would do is we would unactivate, remove all the activation counters from my characters, and we'd have a look, see if the major objective has been achieved in round 4 as it is, which it hasn't. And so we will up the hostility tracker, event card, and so on through into round 5. Okay, so hopefully that's given you a really good indication of how the turn sequence moves, but not only that, how the game activates around you and moves around you whilst you're playing your game. There you go, 1 round in the making. Happy gaming!